I'm 33 and I got diagnosed with perimenopause at the age of 30. Being a black woman, sexual health wasn't necessarily spoken about a lot in my family home. I genuinely didn't know what to expect. Even down to the symptoms and what was going on with my body at the time, I had no idea that is what was happening. I went to the doctors multiple times. They tried to tell me that I had asthma and all these different things, to which I genuinely didn't. It's not until I didn't have a period for up to a span of 6 months, they believed I was going through perimenopause and decided to then put me on HRT, which for me personally, it worked for the first year and a half. And then it just started disagreeing with my body. So I decided to find natural ways to kind of live my everyday life, which I'm feeling 110% way better than I was a year ago. And now I'm at the stage where I'm full blown into the menopause era where, I'm not having my regular periods or anything like that. I'm in the stage of having hot flushes and all the rest of it. Having to deal with this at such a young age and having no knowledge about it was very difficult at the time, because you don't necessarily hear a lot of 30-year-olds going through perimenopause or menopause, if that. You can go through menopause at the age of 18. It doesn't matter how old you are, it's just based on your body. It's only now that I've become more comfortable to talk about it, because a lot of women, especially a lot of black women, have a lot of sexual health issues, and they're not brave enough to speak up. So I'm being one of those women today to be brave enough to speak up on it and to kind of educate those that want to know more about it, because it has been a difficult 4 years to deal with and research and deal with on my own. So yeah, I'm coming to you today to share my story.
Here we have our sister, beautiful sister. Sounds like she's English, going through menopause at 33. Something you don't hear about a lot. And man, what an awful thing. She seems warm. She seems friendly. She seems very inviting, very feminine. This is the kind of woman who you would want to have as a mother. Someone who would, kiss the boo-boos when little kids fall off their bikes and things of that nature. But unfortunately, because she thought she had more time than she actually did, this potential future is going to be denied to her. My heart goes out to her because, again, she seems like a nice person. And I'm sure she wishes she had 20 more years before that inevitable conclusion comes. But the reason why I wanted to show you guys her story is because I want to show you the contrast in how the person you are when you go through a trial or tribulation like this will greatly determine how people treat you compared to how other people going through the exact same thing or something similar will be treated. Case in point, the next lady I want to show you, and I use the word lady very loosely, make that part clear, I have no sympathy for. But as cruel as you may think that sounds, let me show you what I'm talking about. Maybe it'll make more sense that way. Roll the clip.
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up. We're gonna come to the restaurant. We're gonna see your table manners. We're gonna see what you order. We're gonna see, do you hold your chopsticks correctly? We're just gonna, study you a bit. Okay, so dinner it is.
She's awfully demanding for a creature whose head is entirely full of peroxide, fake lashes, 16 pounds of makeup on top of a filter, fake breasts and fake nails. Incredible how she's dictating terms here. Here's my question, gentlemen. If you're paying the bill, who gets to decide where you go? Yeah, that's what I thought. But I want you to remember this hubris. I want you to remember this hubris she operates under as this goes on. Because we're not done. Nowhere near close.
I understand you guys say that dinner is high maintenance. But that's just what I'm used to, Sort of offensive.
There she is. Little miss, I get flued out. No, we're not offended about you, quote, demanding, unquote, dinner date, sweet cheeks. What's offensive is the fact that you think a woman like you is going to live this way forever. As if you'll be youthful forever. As if you'll be in a position to make these kind of demands until the end of time. No. You don't understand your own mortality. But again, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself.
The biggest mistake people in their 20s are making, they're trying so hard to find love. Don't get me wrong, love is great. It feels great when you find somebody. However, your 20s are made for you to get to know who you are. Learn about yourself, travel, explore the world. And then one day when you're going to be so happy with who you are and you're going to be so content with your life, the right person is going to come into your life that's going to match that energy.
Translation: waste your fertility window riding a cock carousel until centrifugal force throws you off at breakneck speed. This is the kind of advice she gives to over 200,000 women on TikTok, guys, many of whom are far younger than she is. But as the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end.
I started the egg freezing process. I did some preliminary tests, which showed that my egg count is really low.
Yes. Here we have arrived, gentlemen, at the end of the line. As mentioned in the earliest parts of the video, I have all the sympathy in the world for the sister from the UK, who, for reasons way beyond her control, far earlier than she anticipated, she's unable to have children. She was kind, very beautiful, seemed rather natural in her appearance. But this bleach blonde, plastic bimbo, who has been spewing her toxic dating advice all over TikTok to the tunes of millions of views, retweets, you name it. This woman, the Eastern European version of Sprinkle Sprinkle, is now going to be a genetic dead end. She's coming along the internet crying, which is always a warning sign. But she's up here doing what she can to let the whole world know that, oh, woe is me. As if her choice to chase the bag instead of a family didn't lead her straight to this conclusion.
And I know a lot of women struggle with this. I had an ovarian surgery last January, and I knew that I have endometriosis and I had like a giant cyst on my ovary. And the doctors told me that, that might affect my fertility. But we didn't even start like the actual egg freezing, so it still might be that my eggs are high quality, but there's just not a lot of them. It's just so sad. I've been like crying the entire day. And you know, people say like, oh, you're not alone. This happens to so many women. But I mean, it feels very alone, lonely. I don't know. Like I just feel this giant pain in my stomach right now.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
For those who think I'm being insensitive, you're right. And the reason why you're right is because I am. But furthermore, the reason why I'm being insensitive to this woman is because, as you've seen, she's been putting out content for years, creating one gold digger after another, and then sending them out into the dating market to pollute the dating market. This woman has overestimated her SMV for years now, chasing one rich man after another with no hope of finding connection, only in hopes of experiences, gifts, Chanel bags, and designer shoes, jewelry. This is the kind of woman, guys, who has earned her fate. She could have locked in a guy, which she hopefully would have at least had some affection for. But knowing her, it would have all been about the money. But let's look past that for a second. She could have locked in a guy, a high-income guy, the kind of guy she normally goes after as targets. Gotten pregnant 5, 8, 12 years ago. Had her baby 2 or 3 by now. And been okay in the situation. Now, due to factors she cannot control, she is stuck like Chuck. And it couldn't happen to a nicer chick. The wall that so many modern women just like her refuses to believe exists, that one day think that we men just made up out of thin air, is immortal. It is invincible. It is unmerciful, and it is undisputed as well as undefeated. He wins every single time. There are no escapees. The wall comes for them all. And as she becomes the last of her bloodline, thankfully the gene pool can be rid of her in a few short decades. But I'll say this, guys, and I'll leave it here. The reason why we have sympathy for the young lady at the beginning of the video, and absolutely none for this beast who thinks she's a beauty, is because the women who have femininity, who have grace, who carry themselves in a fashion with which the men in their lives are treated well, spoken to with respect, and shown at least a modicum of appreciation. We as men have a thing inside of us that makes us go above and beyond the call of duty. Make sure those kinds of women are safe, looked after, and cared for. But for women like her, who simply see men as merchandise, speak that way, treat us that way, and try their best to encourage and instruct other women to treat us that way, we enjoy your pain. It's like a nice cold glass of lemonade on the hottest of summer days. So, you stew in your situation, sweet cheeks. You've earned it. Hopefully those Chanel bags and Manolo Blahnik shoes keep you warm at night for the next 40 years. It's going to be one hell of a ride. And lonely, too. That said, fellas, that's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.